Warning: this video blog or vlog could contain harsh opinions and foul language. If you do not appreciate said content or material, well, you could just fuck right off.
Greetings, internet people. RantingRamsay here. How are you all doing today? I'm not doing so badly, and today I've decided to talk to you about something that's actually been on my mind for a little while. I've always had this opinion, but it's been brought to the forefront recently. And that lately, I've been reading a lot of books, as you guys might have noticed by my little book display thing. Like today we've got the Homecoming Harmony, part of a series of books by Orson Scott Card. I recommend you read them. Anyway, I've been reading a lot of books lately, and no, I haven't been reading them as fast as they've been appearing, because some of these are some pretty thick hardback books that even I, an enthusiastic and avid reader, can't plow through that quickly because I have a life, I have a job, I have a wife, I have social obligation. Anyway, that's beside the point. So what I'm talking about, as you can see by the title, and I imagine you're hoping I will eventually get to the point too, is that, as we all know, any of us that actually like to read books, Hollywood likes to make movies out of books. We all know this. And what we also all know is that on the general average, for the most part, they fucking suck as a translation of original story. Now, I've got to clarify that point, and there's a lot of clarification that's going to go on in this particular video, because a lot of these points are very controversial, unless they're not controversial, but easily misinterpreted, is what I was meaning to say, unless they're clarified and you understand the distinct perspective. For the observant ones, yes, this is a rare jump cut. It was unavoidable. I apologize. Anyway, so, to continue the point, what I was saying is that take something like this wonderful masterwork of a book. Absolutely brilliant piece of literary endeavor. One of the best things I've ever written, reading it again, just because. And funnily enough, yeah, that's a word. Amusingly enough, which I know is for certain a word. Certainly, for certain. Jesus. Anyway, I enjoy the movie, Starship Troopers. I find it a very entertaining piece of cinematic endeavor. Does it in any way really remotely resemble the message or the point that was conveyed in this? Hell fucking no! In fact, really, the only major similarities in the movie Starship Troopers and this is the main character's name, the names of a few of his friends, the names of the organization for which they fight, and oh yeah, they're in a war. That's about fucking it. Now, select scenes and moments, or, you know, whatever you want to call them, in the book do translate to the screen in the movie, but the overall point of the book is sorely, completely, totally missing in the movie. In fact, the movie went so far as to change the genders of one of the characters to provide a love interest for the main character, Johnny Rico. If you know the story of the book and see which character they changed the genders of, it's absolutely fucking hilarious. But that's beside the point. The point is, like I said, for the most part, books make terrible movies if you're trying to convey the same story that you conveyed in the book. Another really good example of a movie that has absolutely nothing to do with the book it's named after is The Bourne Identity. The only similarities in The Bourne Identity, the movie, and The Bourne Identity, the book, is that a super spy who goes under the name of Jason Bourne loses his memory. That's pretty much where the similarities end. And I, for one, find that something of just kind of like almost an atrocity but not really, because I really enjoy the Bourne movies. The Bourne Identity, the Bourne Supremacy, and the Bourne Ultimatum are all fantastic pieces of cinematic endeavor. Do they have much of anything to do with the books after which they are named? Absolutely not. And for some reasons, I can understand. I can understand that a lot of the times, the story that is described, or the scenes that are described in a book, would be relatively impossible to pull off cinematically. I also understand that when you have long parts of description that are interesting and dire to the story, and in some cases you have not only description but one of the characters' inner thoughts and inner monologue going along with said description, that really doesn't translate to film well. You can show 6 pages of description in a novel in 3 seconds of film time. So I understand that they have to pad things, and that I also understand that the general attention span of the movie-going audience is much, much shorter than those who prefer something like this as their preferred form of entertainment. And so, therefore, they have to keep things moving along. They have to keep exciting things happening. They have to keep bright, pretty colors flashing on the screen, and most often lately they have to keep a pair of tits on the screen as well to hold your fucking attention. That is why, or one of the many reasons why, most often books do not translate well to movies. I mean, I know that there's a lot of people who are going to jump up and say, well, what about Harry Potter? But I think any really fucking hardcore fans of the series of Harry Potter, like my wife, used to be, she's not so much anymore, used to be, would, every time she would sit down to watch one of the movies with me, she would point out the glaring inaccuracies, the missing parts, the huge chunks, and the changes. So even something as widely popular as that, where the books and the movies sold pretty much equally well, there's this large gap, this total hole, this ravine between lack of connection between the books and the movies. You know, let's go ahead and talk about Lord of the Rings while we're at it. I mean, I myself was never a huge fan of those particular books, but I know people who pretty much read the entire trilogy once a year. And even though they greatly enjoyed the movies and said that they got a lot of the stuff right in the movies, they also complained about some of the stuff that was gotten wrong. And even something like The Lord of the Rings, which is hailed as one of the better book-to-movie translations that have ever been done, people who really are adamant fans of the books find flaws in it. So, I mean, it just kind of leaves this dry taste in my mouth whenever I see that they've made a movie out of a book that I enjoy. Like, once again, avid readers who enjoy the book Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card have known that there's been a movie project that's been in production hell, or pre-production hell even, for about a decade now. And every one of the huge Ender's Game fans that I've talked to, like myself, that we've talked about the movie, have always come to the same conclusion that we're really not sure if we want this movie to even be made, because the book itself is so masterfully done, presents the moral dilemma that it does so masterfully, that to see it castrated and watered down for cinema seems almost like just an absolute slap in the face of everything the book itself stands for. Who knows? It could be one of the rare cases where they actually get it right. But Hollywood's track record is far from impeccable. I don't know. I want to know what you guys think. Name some, tell me about some books or something that you have enjoyed reading and then you saw the movie and was like, what the fuck is this shit? Because 95% of the time, that's exactly what fucking happens to me. So I'm really pretty fucking tired of these stupid asinine movie remake or book remakes into movies, whatever you want to call them, book translations, movie translation books, I don't know. Books made into movies. Most of the time, the attempt is a pathetic shadow of what the book actually should be. That's my opinion. I'm RantingRamsay. That is all.
Hey, did you get all that, man?
Douche.